live. Welcome everybody to NatiCast. This is episode 3. I want to introduce my host, Skinny Sean.
What's up, everybody? Welcome, Who Day, baby?
Welcome and Who Day. What's the weather like up there, man?
It's nice, real nice.
You guys finally got some sun?
Oh yeah, the vitamin D, son.
Gotta love the vitamin D. But yeah, I seen that you guys had got snow the other day, and I was just curious if you guys had finally got some warm weather, because it's been like 70s for like the last 2 weeks up here.
I should say. The Ohio weather, it's probably snowing now. I don't know, man. It's weird. It changes from next 1 minute to the next.
I don't miss that at all. Before we get started, I just want to address last week's episode. We had started recording an episode. We actually probably recorded like an hour-long episode. After we finished, we realized the audio was messed up. So we had to record it again. So I just wanted to apologize if last week's episode seemed a little bit dull. We were kind of all over the place. It was just because I think we were all a little tired and irritated that we had to do it again. It's hard to talk about the same subject twice.
Yeah, absolutely. We apologize. And we nothing but sunny skies here on out.
Yeah, exactly. We want to give a quality product to you guys. So once again, we apologize. So we'll try to make this one a little bit better for you. Also, one thing before we get started, I just want to tell everybody that there used to be a Bengals board on Bengals.com. I don't know if you were a member or not. But back in the day, there used to be a message board on Bengals.com, and then they shut it down. A lot of people went in a lot of different directions. Well, now since I have a platform, I just kind of want to give the BengalsBoard.com a shout out. It's fan funded. One of the guys actually takes in donations from people that use the board, and he keeps it running. But it's a lot of members from the Bengals.com board, if any of you guys remember that. I was going to say, just go over there. If you never checked it out, go over there and check it out. A lot of cool people, a lot of cool fans, a lot of knowledgeable people. And they let me post our podcast over there, and they don't complain too much. So
appreciate that.
I figured I'd give them a shout out.
Absolutely.
All righty. Can anybody throw in the NFL? Can a competitor dethrone the NFL, Sean?
Whew. Many have tried. Many have failed. I know the XFL is going to give them a hell of a try, but I don't think so, buddy. I'm going to say no.
Gotcha. That's well, the only reason I'm bringing it up is because, as most of you probably all know, the AAF, the Alliance of American Football, collapsed. They ended all football operations. So that league folded. There was, 2 weeks left, I believe?
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of disappointing.
Whatever happened, I don't mean to cut you off real quick, but I just have a thought. Whatever happened to NFL Europe? Did I miss that?
They shut it down. They shut that down a while back.
Yeah, I mean, I figured it was a while ago, but you wake up one day, you're like, whatever happened to that? Like NFL Europe?
Well, I actually watched it, and I believe I can't remember off the top of my head, but I do remember there was a couple players that came over and actually did something. They weren't like Hall of Famers or anything. But
wasn't Odell Thurman in it, Canadian football or NFL Europe?
I don't think.
Or was that the Canadian Football League?
I think he went to the CF. Oh, no, he went to the, I believe it was like the USFL or the UFL. I believe he was part of. Like, I think he played for a team, maybe it was called the Lumberjacks or something like that. But yeah, I wonder what he's doing. I think I heard he was working construction.
Damn, homie.
In high school, you was the man, homie.
What the fuck happened to you?
But yeah, I guess the guy who had invested, he had invested basically with the intention of he was going to get the NFL. I think he was trying to get the NFLPA to like co-sign or join or sometime form some sort of alliance, and he didn't get what he wanted, so he basically pulled his money out. I guess they can finish the season if they get $20 million. Which is, so it's likely that, I mean, it's possible that they finish the season, but most likely it's a wrap.
Well, that's the thing, man. It wasn't bad football. It really wasn't bad football. A lot of familiar faces, familiar names. One of our Bengals draft picks, Logan Woodside, he was a starter quarterback. And he looked all right, you know what I mean?
Did he do anything? So you said he
Nah,
looked all
he
right.
looked all right. Like I wouldn't draft him over, again, but he did look okay.
I gotcha. I'll say, yeah, I didn't really watch. I think I caught a couple clips. I think I seen some highlights, and then on social media I seen some clips. A couple people on Twitter said it was pretty cool. I wanted to catch it, and I probably would have watched the playoffs had it made it that far.
Right.
But maybe, like I said, maybe somebody will step in. There's like a secret rich fan, and he'll step in and kick him $20 million to let him at least finish the season.
Hey man, if I
Let him
had it,
finish
I
with some
would.
dignity.
Right, right.
Staying on the topic of competition for the NFL, Vince McMahon the other day, he sold $272 million of WWE stock. So you had mentioned it earlier, the XFL. He's committing $500 million to the first 3 seasons. So I feel like if anybody's going to be able to like compete, it'll probably be him, just for the fact that he's willing to. He's basically committing to 3 seasons. So
Yeah, I mean, when you get to a point, here's how I look at it. Back in the days, in the 60s, before the NFL existed, there was 2 leagues, and they were fighting for players. Now, when they were fighting for players, that made them equal. And if the XFL can compete money-wise and start offering real money to players, you'll see players jump ship. And then that'll make it interesting. That'd be like just like the Monday Night Wars all over again.
Well, yeah, and it's like there's a possibility. It's kind of like, I don't know if you're into MMA.
Yeah.
But the UFC is obviously the big dog.
Right.
The big man on campus. But there's a company called Bellator.
Bellator, yes.
And there's also another company right now, ONE FC. And they just signed a couple big guys, or they traded Ben Askren for Demetrius Johnson. And they're offering them pretty good contracts, but they're also saying like, hey, you're about to be the star. You come over here, you might be like number 4 or 5 on the list over there at the UFC, but you come over here and you're going to be our main guy, and we're going to put all our stuff behind you. So there's possibility, like if they stick around long enough, they might be able to lure a big name just with that aspect. Like, hey, you're going to be our stud. You know what I mean? You're going to be the face of our league. Well, and we can offer you a lot of money. And
right.
So like I said, that the fact that they're committing to 3 years, because a lot of times I believe businesses usually fail. It's within I believe it's like the first year or 2. Once you get past that initial stage, you have a lot more chances of success.
Man, I'll tell you what, if they go through if the older players who want to come back and play, like Mike Vick and stuff like that, or Colin Kaepernick, or this guy, that guy, and be like, man, well, you get some names in there instead, besides the guy named He Hate Me. You get some real people, some real, even bring Johnny Manziel's terrible playing ass back.
Well, one thing that I think is, instead of like I even framed it earlier, or framed it as going into this little segment, is compete. Maybe they shouldn't be competing with each other. Maybe they should join forces. Maybe like the XFL could, because you got college obviously, but then people graduate, you got training camp, and then you go into the season with your roster. But maybe there should be some sort of and you got your practice squad, but maybe there should be some sort of minor league. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You're grooming players that were pretty good in college. They're not quite good enough now. Maybe they just started playing college football, or just started playing football in college, or maybe their senior year in high school, and it gives them a little bit of time to develop. So maybe, I don't know, I guess maybe they can compete. Maybe Vince can find his own little niche spot. But I think maybe even a good idea would be maybe to work together. And
absolutely. If they could make that happen, that would be ideal. But same thing. The AAF was supposed to be that. You know what I mean? Kind of like the spring league, developmental league, and then the NFL.
That's like I said. I think he was kind of banking on getting the NFLPA
right
to sign on. And
if you remember, I'll keep going. That's just showing my age. I wasn't born in the '60s, so I don't know. But I remember when Donald Trump wanted to get in on the NFL. They said, "No way, man. We're not going to let you in here." The same thing with Vince McMahon, I think, is going to happen. NFL's going to be like, nah, man, we don't want you in here.
Well, that's the thing, is I think if they try to compete, there's no way.
No way.
Right?
Nope.
But if they try to join, or not just like supplement, like, hey, like we're not going to try to be top dog. We know we can't be top dog, but let us fill this spot here in the off season, and let us help develop these players, and maybe we can work it out together.
Yeah.
Because then there could even be another draft. What would be cool would be like, there's the big draft, and then like there could be another supplemental draft
Right.
that they draft all the players that didn't get undrafted. It just gives a bigger pool of players because some players develop late. It just gives a bigger pool of players to select from, and that's never a bad thing.
Never.
We'll see how it goes. We're at least going to get 3 years of it. Speaking of the collapse of the AAF,
Yes.
Darren Smith is unemployed. Darren Smith, the safety out of Fresno State, he
Right.
used to play for us. I just seen a couple things on Twitter going around that maybe we can bring him back. I wouldn't be opposed. I actually thought he was a pretty good safety. I think he didn't actually get enough playing time, or he did get hurt, I believe, too early in one of the seasons. But it seemed like he was one of those guys when he was in. He always seemed to be around the ball. What do you think?
Put him next to Jesse Bates. Anything that gets rid of Sean Williams, I'm pretty much there for. Anything that could be like, hey man, look, listen, my name is Sean, so I sympathize. And said, Mr. Williams, you're just not getting it done. Get the fuck out. And then
I want to make my announcement, guys. I'm not on I don't hate Sean Williams.
I don't hate it either.
Skinny Sean's on this hate train all by himself. All right, guys. I just want to make that clear.
Hey man, I stand alone. It's all right. It's all right.
No, you're good. I like Sean. I think he's a decent value player.
He's a cool dude. I've seen interviews with him. He's actually not a bad dude, but I don't think he fits our scheme. Jesse Bates came on and shined in his rookie year. Sean Williams has been around for about 4 or 5 seasons now.
I think we could definitely
upgrade,
find more ways, and also to use him more creatively. But he's made some big plays. I mean, there's been a lot of big plays. I mean, he's definitely disappeared. I don't know if he's lived up to expectations, but we'll see how it goes. New defensive coordinator come in. We'll see what's going on.
Maybe he can be the water boy.
Maybe we're going to get him on the podcast. I don't know if you remember that interview I told you about.
Yeah.
The other week about Emmanuel Sanders. We're going to get Sean Williams to come on here because you've been talking so much trash.
I think he should. He should explain himself.
But let's go around to actual some NFL news. Actually, I believe last week on our last podcast, right after we finished recording for the second time, a bunch of news broke from the league meetings about Mike Brown, and he had some quotables, some pretty big news.
Yeah.
I wish we would have maybe started the podcast a little later and we could have talked about that last week, but since we didn't, we're going to go ahead and cover it now. Let's see. Bengals verse was definitely buzzing. But first, just kind of want to point a couple things out. The Bengals off-season workouts start on April 9th, so that's right around the corner.
Literally, yes.
It'll be nice to get the guys back, and I'm sure they'll be happy to start building that camaraderie. And just this is the start to building a championship team, right?
Absolutely. It all everything starts at 1. This is day 1 of the official off-season program. So, yeah, I think, here's what's going to happen. I got my crystal ball in front of me. You can't see it. I'm looking at it. Oh, we're going to realize that we have a bunch of crappy players, and we're going to make some moves. We're going to sign some people. We don't have crappy players. Let me stop there. I'm just upset that we didn't win last year. But I think, the offensive line is basically the same offensive line we had last year. I'm actually excited about that, even though they weren't the best. So, I don't know. I think we'll get a chance to evaluate some last year's, like Malik Jefferson and, guys that you have mentioned before. We'll get a chance to evaluate and see where they're at health-wise and playing-wise. And, yeah, I'm excited.
Definitely. Well, we got a couple. We'll have a new right guard, so it won't be the exact same. And I think there's going to be some competition. And also, it's a new guy. We got a new head coach, so we don't know exactly. I mean, it might be best player plays. So I think competition is going to be there's not going to be as much complacency. as maybe there has been. I just think that maybe, like I said, we'll see some competition. I think that I think his name, what is it, John Miller, the guard from Buffalo, is that his name?
Oh
Am I
yes.
forgetting his name?
No.
I think that's actually a good sign. I think he's actually going to be a pretty good starter. Now, right tackle, like I said, I think it's not as bad a situation as most people, but I can't deny that there is questions. So if they do end up signing Jordan Mills, like, oh, that's another, they brought in Jordan Mills, another guy from Buffalo. Surprise, surprise. Right?
We're big fans of Buffalo's offensive line.
Exactly. Yeah, us Buffalo and the Giants, it seems like right now is who we're doing business with. But yeah, I just think competition, bringing a couple more guys in, and who knows, we might even draft a couple guys later on in the draft.
I can't wait, man. I'll tell you what, the draft day is like Christmas morning for me. I go to bed early just so I can wake up early.
And it's like the longest day ever.
Yeah,
right?
because now it's not till 8 o'clock. It used to be a Saturday at noon.
And then it's so disappointing. It's not disappointing. It's like amazing, but it sucks because it's only one round, and then you got to wait and do it all over again Saturday.
Yes. So I propose we do a show.
Or not Saturday, Friday. I'm sorry.
I propose we do a show Thursday night after round one.
Well, I think we should do it during the draft. I think we should have a live stream up until our pick, and then once we do our pick, I think maybe we should just kind of analyze it, whatever.
Yeah.
Because I can actually have I might be able to have a live stream of the draft on our thing, and it might be something pretty cool. I think I can do that.
So stay tuned because we got some cool shit coming for y'all.
I'm not sure what the rights are on that, but I think that I'll be able to stream the draft while we commentate on it.
That'd be nice.
We'll be able to at least, I'll be able to show who gets picked maybe just a couple seconds after. We'll be able to do something.
That'd be pretty cool to talk about it as it happens.
Yeah, no, it'll be and we'll keep you entertained. We're way more entertaining than those turds on TV that don't know what they're talking about. So,
just let the turds on TV know that it wasn't me who said that.
I hate Mel Kiper, dude.
It's funny because I like him over Todd McShay, but I don't watch ESPN. I watch the NFL Network.
Yeah, same here. I do not like ESPN.
Because you get like Nate Burleson. He's real cool. He does a good job.
Oh yeah, Nate Burleson's my homie. He made it big time. He's on this NFL the Sunday show on CBS.
Yeah,
he made it big time.
Absolutely, and he's on Good Morning Football, which to me is big time. I love that show.
For sure. Definitely their best morning show. Or it's their best show, period.
Yeah.
So, and another story that made a lot of headlines was Troy Blackburn. The Bengals came out and defended the signing. It's like they came out and defended the signing of Bobby Hart. And then people are like, oh, they're being too defensive. They know it's a bad signing. And I don't think it's that at all. I personally think that he shouldn't have even responded. Like, I don't know why he listens to fans.
Right.
I don't want the guy running the team or making personnel decisions actually giving a damn about what the fans think. I want them doing what they think is actually going to help the team win. But
I want both. I want, you know what I mean? I want them to care about the fans, but I also want them to do what's right for the team. Like getting rid of Marvin Lewis, you know what I mean? It's like, it was best for the team, and it was what the fans wanted.
Explaining your signing of a guy, I just think kind of, when you're like, what's the saying? If you're explaining, you're losing, or I forget what, but if you don't just, hey, we signed him, Bobby Hart's our guy, let's go. But he did. I do want to read this quote off, just because I think it. He says, "For those who say you shouldn't have signed Bobby Hart, who is going to play right tackle? Who? Oh, maybe you'll draft one in the third round and it'll come on. Really? You're going to bet the season on that?" So I thought that was interesting, because just because of what he said about the draft. He said, "Oh, maybe you'll draft one in the third round," which just kind of says to me that he has. There's no intentions of going offensive line early, is what I took from that. What do you think?
Well, I think if you have to defend it, then maybe you didn't feel 100% about it either. You know what I mean? So,
well, yeah, I mean, but it's I think that they know that the fans are upset, and it's like he's trying to explain it. But yeah, like you said, I mean, I don't know if they don't feel good about it or if they I just think that he probably should have just said, "Hey, Bobby Hart's our guy. Let's let's
Absolutely.
go." Because
Absolutely.
his statements, I guess, shows confidence in him, and he's got a point. Like, I would have been pissed off if they would have went out and spent $17 million. I mean, I think that's a waste of money to spend $17 million on a tackle. But like
Absolutely.
I said, I don't think I think he should have just shut up. But yeah, we'll see. And like I said earlier, we brought in Jordan Mills. What do you think? You think we should bring him in, let him compete? He actually was a little bit better than Bobby Hart, according to PFF.
If it's an upgrade and it's in a positive direction, I'm with it every time. Competition brings out the best in you.
For sure, and a lot of people forget that Buffalo line from a few years ago. These are all the same guys from that line from a few years ago. They were actually pretty good. They were a really good run blocking line. So, like I said, maybe if we can get them back on track, maybe some different coaching, different technique, maybe we can bring the best out of these guys.
Right on.
But we'll see. Also, the Bengals brought back Trey Hopkins, which I'm guessing he'll probably kind of swing between center and guard. They brought him back on a 1-year deal.
Yeah, I think Billy Price healthy. He's got that center position locked down.
For sure. But I think Trey can swing. Actually, I think Trey even played tackle a couple years ago, so I think he can be that swing because they always love to have that guy that can play all 5 positions in a pinch. Like, just in case anybody gets injured, he can be a backup at all 5 positions in a pinch.
Right.
I think Trey will probably fill that position. So I think that's a pretty good solid depth signing.
Absolutely.
Let's see what else. Oh, Mark Walton. Did you see the Mark Walton news?
Oh, unfortunately, yes.
Well, let everybody know what happened. What happened with Mark Walton?
For the third time, what was it, like in 3 months?
Yeah, the third time in 3 months.
Third time in 3 months, and he got tased, and just it was all bad. Now I don't know what led up to it. I just know that it happened.
From my understanding, is he had rented a BMW, I believe, and he was driving. I think he was speeding, and then he ended up going on like a police chase. I believe is what I believe I had read. Let me see. I'll post the story up on. I'll post the story up. You guys will be able to see it. Yeah, I believe he went on a chase. There was a chase. They found marijuana. I believe there was like a loaded gun.
Damn.
So yeah, my guess is he's probably done. Like, Zach Taylor has no ties to Mark Walton,
Right.
no loyalty. So my guess is he's probably done. So would you think the same?
Oh yeah, he wouldn't be on my team at all, especially a team that's loaded on running backs. And we got Mixon, Geo, and I don't know. I'm not really sure who we got behind them, but I know we can get some fresh legs in the 3rd round. You know what I mean? 4th round, 5th round, whatever.
Well, I think that does, like what you're talking about. See, you're talking about draft now, and I think that it does affect us because I think now, I think running back was a position where it was pretty secure. Where I don't think it was a need. Now there's a possibility we might spend a later pick on a running back.
Or save the pick and sign someone like for a 1-year, 2-year deal like a Jay Ajayi.
Well, we have Brian Hill. Is that his name?
Brian Hill was like
He was a running back from the Falcons. I believe we picked him up from the Falcons. I'm pretty sure I could be like I feel like I'm having brain fart after brain fart, but I think that's his name. And he showed some flashes, and I think that we have another running back. I'm having a brain fart again, but yeah. Like I said, I don't know if we'll draft one any higher than maybe like the 4th or 5th.
don't need to.
Yeah, I think it's a possibility now. We addressed it when before maybe we probably didn't even look at running back.
Right.
Moving on now to the big news is Mike Brown obviously made some comments that stirred up Bengaldom.
Yes.
He said that he's not shy about his willingness or want to sign AJ Green after this season to get him extended, or maybe even before the season. He just said that he wants to make sure that he continues to stay a Bengal.
Right.
What do you think about that?
I absolutely love that. I mean, he's been a model player, and not only he's been a Pro Bowl player. You know, they say he's lost a step. He's fallen off. Too many injuries. I don't believe that. You know what I mean? I still think he's an elite receiver, even at the age, what, he's 30? Is that how old he is?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's still elite. I think he can still hang with the Julio Jones and, you know, Antonio Brown or whoever. You know, I still think he can still compete. He just needs consistent offense.
I agree. I don't think that he's fell off. Now, there is a couple things I want to say, just to be fair and balanced. There are a couple issues, obviously, that um, I'm not sure that we can deny. But up here on the screen, as you can see, I pulled up his stats.
Right.
It's kind of went unnoticed, honestly. But when you look at the stats, it looks like he's actually been like a little injury prone. Like he's played 8 seasons now, and only 4 seasons has he played 4 full seasons. The other 4 seasons he has missed at least some time to injury. While most seasons it's only been a game or a couple games. But there has been injury concerns. And then the last 3 seasons, if you look, 2 out of the 3 seasons have been under 1,000 yards. So the questions are real. Plus the age, like you said, he's 30 years old. So the questions are real, but I think I'm on your side of the fence.
Yeah.
I think I'm all in on AJ Green. Like even if we're rebuilding or even if we're going for a championship, I think AJ Green's a great guy to have.
Absolutely.
And I don't think the injuries are enough to let him walk to somebody else. I mean, he's a generational player in my opinion, and I think if he can stay healthy, I think he will eventually be a Hall of Famer. I think,
Yes,
at least
sir.
in my opinion.
Well, think about this. When Odell Beckham started going through his antics and, you know, with the kicker net and all that stuff. Now, who's the backup receiver for the Giants?
You got what? Sterling Shepard.
Sterling Shepard. Okay. Now, last year, Sterling Shepard started doing the same shit. AJ Green has never been that guy ever, and none of his players who played with him, you know, all the way from Sanu to Marvin Jones to, you know what I mean, and there have never been character problems, never had any, you know what I mean, because they come in and they learn from the veterans,
Mm-hmm.
and he's an ideal player, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, AJ Green is a model player, a model citizen, probably
Yeah.
just a model father. He just seems like a great human being, a real humble, like just genuinely good dude. Doesn't like the attention, doesn't like the media. Just wants to be with his family
Right.
and play football, and I freaking love it.
I love it, man.
So like I'm all on board as long as he wants to play for us, and as long as he's not a detriment to the team. Let's keep him in stripes.
Absolutely. You know, I think he deserves it. He's earned it.
For 100%. Now let's move on to some the big news, the real big news that really shook Bingledom. I guess it made half the fans ecstatic and half the fans mad. Mike Brown said that we will not extend Andy this offseason. But chill out, Bengals fans. He did say that he has all the confidence in the world in Andy Dalton, but he just wants to see him prove it this year in a new system with a new coach. What do you think?
I think it's
here. Why before you get going, I'm gonna put up some good Andy because we all know. Well, this is what we're really discussing here is the Andy Dalton paradox.
yeah.
But as everybody knows, you got good Andy and bad Andy.
Yeah.
So right now I'm going to show some good Andy plays. But what do you think about what Mike Brown said?
I think it's brilliant. You know what I mean? Give the guy a chance to, first of all, see what he can do in a new offense. We're moving in a different direction. Can he fill that hole as the good Andy as we're seeing right now? You know? But who knows? I mean, week 1, he'd be like, oh, Andy Dalton's working great in the system. You know, 4 touchdowns, 300 yards. And then week 2, he's like, what the fuck happened to Andy, man? And then week 3 is the same shit. And then week 4, he has a decent game. Like, he's inconsistent. So I think a show me year is the Bengals would be justified in drafting a quarterback and saying we're going to sit behind Andy and Because Andy hasn't been a troublemaker either. He could have been a dick. You know what I mean? Like Carson Palmer, they go out and just run his mouth like I hate it here, and the fans are crap, and they booed Andy Dalton at the Reds charity softball game.
Oh yeah, I remember. Well, I mean, well even that they threw trash on Carson Palmer's lawn. So, but I mean, like you said, Andy's been good. He's been bad. Well, and I think a lot of people read into this. They read too much into it. Mike Brown said this as though, oh, we're going to get rid of Andy now. I don't think it shows anything because I think even if we do plan on moving on, Andy's our guy for this year. And even if we're not moving on and he's our guy for the long haul, I mean, I don't think we re-sign him no matter what this offseason. So I don't think there's really that much to read into it.
Right.
But I do like the wait and see approach, I guess, as you can see. I mean, obviously Andy Dalton, he can light up the scoreboard. He can have games where he throws 5 touchdowns, throws damn near 400 yards, and we have a top 5 offense. Look unstoppable. But here, let me.
I think you should build the offense around Mixon personally.
Oh, for sure, because I think he's the next Le'Veon Bell. But here, let me show you something that I thought was interesting. You check out here on the screen. Andy Dalton has a career passer rating of 88.8. And I just want to show you the career passer rating leaders and where Andy ranks among these guys. If it comes up, let's see if it comes up here.
Andy just he does have a lot. He does, but he doesn't. He's in a weird position where he's like, I don't have to prove nothing. I've been here, took you guys to the playoffs, But then again, it's like, he's not getting us over that hump. Yeah, I get you there, but then you're on your own. That doesn't work. You gotta get somebody who shines, and all the iconic players from Favre to Brady to Manning, and all shine.
Since you mentioned Favre, as you can see here on the career leaders list.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, never mind. Now it disappears. What's going on here? Okay. Brett Favre, number 32. Andy Dalton is tied for 19. So how dare you compare that bum Brett Favre to the stud known as Andy Dalton?
Is that stud?
How dare you?
Oh, man.
No, I'm totally just messing. But yeah, I just wanted to show you is like, so basically what you'll notice here is like most of the all-time leaders in QB rating, career QB rating are all like recent players. You can see he's right here hovering around Carson Palmer territory, Matthew Stafford. So it's literally it's the Andy Dalton paradox. Because just check out that list just look at that list of players and look where he ranks among all of them. I mean, you got Aaron Rodgers at the top, Russell Wilson at number 2.
You hear Russell. We didn't even talk about Russell Wilson.
Well, yeah, they're getting ready to. They're putting him on the block, but so what I want to say about that is, you see, he's up there with the good quarterbacks. He's got some pretty good quarterbacks, but he's got some questionable quarterbacks too. So it's like he's in that spot where it's like, is he good? I mean, like I said, he's up there with some really good guys, but then you see right here as you look on the screen, I'm going to play some clips from Cleveland game a few years ago on Thursday Night Football, where bad Andy shows up.
Oh,
and
God.
this is the Andy Dalton paradox. Is this the guy you want to build your franchise around? A guy that can lace some turds like this. Like this is one of the all-time turds that a quarterback has ever laid on a football field on live TV. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's horrible.
Like, you're watching it right now. I mean, this is one of them stinkers, and like I said, you can have an Andy Dalton that gets you to the playoffs 5 years in a row, but then you can get you the Andy Dalton that gets you this. What did he have? A 2.0 passer rating. He went 10 of 33, 86 yards, 3 picks. And this was when the Browns were complete garbage. I mean, I still think they're garbage, but this is when the Browns were just god awful. And this is what. So you know what I mean? This is the paradox.
Right.
And then you'll see him slice up a Jets defense that was pretty tough. I mean, or a Ravens defense. You'll see him carve up, and it's just like, what? What do we do?
It's just time to move on. I mean, the same thing happened with Marvin. He wasn't a bad coach, but he wasn't getting us to where we need to be. It's time to move on.
But you're okay with keeping him for?
No, I mean, if they traded him right now, I'd be like, okay. If they, let him play a year, I still would be like, all right, he's gone next year. Unless he lights it up, but then he creates an issue, especially if you draft a young quarterback in early rounds. You know what I mean? But I like
why we're throwing salt in the wound. If you look up here at the screen again,
yes.
This is just another one of those historically bad games against the Ravens, 2017, Week 1. Where he had like the third worst QBR of all time. I don't put a whole lot of stock into QBR, but he had a .6 QBR. He threw 4 picks, 0 touchdowns, and this is literally you've seen the two spectrums now. I've showed the good, and now you're seeing the bad.
Right.
And so I guess I'm kind of on your side on this too. Like I think if you put a good team around him, you can win some games. You can get to the playoffs. But then, there's just too many unknowns in the NFL. There's injuries that you have to factor in. And if he's not, because this is the argument that everybody has is, oh, well, he doesn't have enough talent around him. He doesn't have this. He doesn't have that. Well, Ben Roethlisberger has to go through these same injuries, and he's taken them to the playoffs, making them a Super Bowl contender more so than not. He's winning playoff games. He's won a Super Bowl, and he's had to face these same injuries. I mean, Tom Brady, but I'm not comparing to Tom Brady. Drew Brees. I mean, all these other quarterbacks that do things have to deal with the same things as Andy Dalton. So I think maybe when your argument is always, well, he doesn't have enough around him. When we've had some loaded teams, and we still haven't came back with a playoff W. So I think. I'm definitely on board to move on to see if the grass is greener on the other side. It might not be greener. It might be brown for all I know, but I'm tired of the Kentucky bluegrass, okay?
All right.
I want some different grass to walk on.
Absolutely. It's just, man, listen, I don't care who's throwing the ball. I want to win. I don't care if Sean Williams is throwing the ball. I want to win. Period. Like, it does not matter to me if we draft, if we sign Brock Osweiler. If he comes in and wins, I'll get me an Osweiler jersey. I want to win.
Well, I'd be very pissed off if we brought in Brock Osweiler to be our coach.
I'm just saying.
I know, I get your point. I know. I just had to put that out.
But Russell Wilson, I would love.
I don't think that they have any intentions. I mean, he's a franchise quarterback. He's obviously one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I think this is all just negotiations.
You said the same thing about Earl Thomas. Sure. That he was a generational player. And he's gone. He's in Baltimore.
That's different.
Richard Sherman's in San Francisco.
But that's different.
How is it different?
Because the quarterback touches the ball every play. So, and then, I mean, obviously there was obviously a culture. I don't know if it's culture or Earl Thomas is from a different era.
Yeah.
And they ran things a certain way, and then they're trying to rebuild that defense, and it's just different generations. You know what I mean? He needed to go to a team with more veterans. Like, going to the Ravens is a good thing for him,
right?
Where they're disciplined and he can probably call out. He probably has the free reign to call out shit that he doesn't approve of and whatnot, where maybe in Seattle it was an uncomfortable situation and he wasn't surrounded with the same players. I think he just needed a change of scenery. But I mean, I could be 100% wrong, but I think that if Earl Thomas stays healthy for a couple more years, I think that he'll be a Hall of Famer. Like I said, we don't know. I'm sure you probably disagree, but we won't know until.
Let me ask you this: you get a call from the Seahawks. Okay, they said we'll give you Russell Wilson for Andy, John Ross, and a second-round pick.
They would never do that, but yeah, of course I would get my pilot's license and fly them myself to Seattle.
Very nice.
So for sure, yeah, I'd be all in. Like I said, I just don't think it's a possibility. I think that's just all part of the negotiation tactic. Um, but let's see. Let's move on to the draft. I posted a fan poll. The results. Let's see the results here. I just posted about I know some people said, "Oh, well, those aren't the main. Those aren't all the guys." I know. I just look at a lot of mocks, and these are the 4 guys that I seen that they had us taking the most. Devin White won with 71% of the votes. Dwayne Haskins came in second with 17% of the votes, just because a bunch of Buckeye homers. I'm just kidding. I'm actually, if you don't know, a lot of people think that I hate the Buckeyes. Since I've moved down to South Carolina, I've become more of a Buckeye fan. I actually watch all the Buckeyes games and I root for them now.
As you should.
I don't know. There's some Buckeye fans that are unrealistic, and it's easier to root for them living down here than living in Ohio.
That's why there's so many Michigan fans in Ohio.
But yeah, for sure, because probably Buckeyes fans drive them nuts, and I understand. I understand completely because I'm a hardcore. I probably piss off a lot of people being a hardcore, ridiculous Bengals, hugely biased Bengals fan. So I get it. And then so Devin Bush, he finished third with 9%, and then Drew Lock surprisingly finished in last place. I'm really surprised at people's opinion of Drew Lock. I don't know if it's because they've never heard of him, or it's because they've heard of Dwayne Haskins, and Dwayne Haskins is a Buckeye. But in I see just a lot of hate on him, and I don't understand it because, in my opinion, I think he's the most talented quarterback. He's definitely got the most arm talent.
Did you see your good friend Mel Kiper had us drafting him, Drew Lock?
Oh, I'd be ecstatic. I don't think it's what's going to happen because I personally think Drew Lock's going to be the first quarterback taken.
Ooh.
I could be 100% wrong. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna make a bold prediction. It could be the Cardinals, but right now it's just all smoke and mirrors. Everybody acts like they knows what's gonna happen, or they know what's gonna happen, but nobody knows anything except the franchises. You know what I mean? Only the Cardinals know what they're gonna do. We can speculate, and I can act like I know what's gonna happen, but they say that Kyler Murray's gonna go to him, and I sent you this picture earlier. I'm going to put it up on the screen now that we're talking about it. Because actually next week's episode, we're going to, me and Skinny, we're going to discuss some quarterbacks and some offensive linemen that we might draft. This week, we're going to draft a couple just possible first-round defensive prospects we could take. But anyway, since we're talking, Kyler Murray got brought up. I just had to get this off my chest. Kyler Murray is not 5'10". And at some point in time, you're going to see a picture pop up on the screen. And I just want you guys to know that Tua is 6'1", okay? And so you have to look at this realistically. I don't want you to measure from the top of Kyler Murray's head. Look from where his forehead is or whatever. The dude's got to be like 5'8", okay? He's 5'8". There's no way that he's 5'10".
Why you hate him? Give the man 2 inches.
No, I'm not hating on him. I'm just this is my argument of why I don't think Kyler Murray's going to be. I think this Kyler Murray talk is a smokescreen. I don't even know if he's a first round talent. I swear to God, and I could be 100% wrong.
I can't believe he won the Heisman.
Well, I don't think he's only got 1 year of major college experience. He's a baseball player. Yeah. But I mean, he's a good football player. But he's 5'8". Okay. Now, I understand he can run, he can throw, he's got a lot of talent, but he's 5'8".
I don't think he's that good.
And, honestly, I'm not that impressed with him. But I think there's a possibility he might go in the first just because of potential. But he's 5'8". I'm going to keep stressing that. He's 5'8".
Now, how tall is he?
Size 5'8". But they say he's 5'10". They say he's 5'10". But I'm telling you, we obviously know that they lie about players' height and weight all the time. Right? This is obviously a known fact. And there were stories going, or Oklahoma's strength and conditioning coach actually measured him before the season started, and he said he was 5'9". So now they're saying that he's 5. I'm telling you, there's some deception going on. There's no way Kyler Murray is 5'10", and I'm telling you, I think it's going to be the reason that he doesn't get drafted as high as what everybody.
Are you saying there's a height conspiracy?
There is. I mean, name some short quarterbacks that have, like, you got Doug Flutie.
Yeah,
That's
you
it.
just took my one.
And he didn't even have a successful NFL career.
How tall?
He had like a
How
good
tall is
1 or
Breeze?
2 year run. Like, what is he, like 6'1", I think, or six? Or no, how tall is Drew Brees? I think he's like 6', 6'1" or something like that. So let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and look that up right now. But yeah, just not. I'm not. I just think that he's 6 foot, and I think there's a lot of smoke, as we all know that there's a lot of smoke screens going on at this time of the year, and I think the Kyler Murray is a smoke screen.
Oh yeah, I think Bosa is number one pick in the draft, but I'm a Buckeye, so people think I'm
No,
biased.
I think you're correct on that. And up until Joey Bosa started balling out, I would have. If Joey Bosa was a bust, I probably would have hated. But I mean, he's talented. There's
Oh,
no
he's the
denying that.
man.
And, I mean, those Bosa brothers they're all men, so I can't really hate
I
on.
don't know.
If he goes number one. Also, I think that linebacker from Kentucky could possibly be a number one pick. Josh Allen, I believe his
Yeah,
name is.
yeah.
He could go number one. There's a lot of guys that could go number one. Yeah, and the Cardinals could take a quarterback number one for all I know. But I hear that they're getting a lot of. I think would they get a second round? Did somebody offer them a second round pick for Rosen?
Uh,
I think somebody offered him a second round pick and they turned it down. So I mean, obviously they value this kid.
right.
So I'm not even sold that they're going to draft a quarterback. Like I said, this is all smoke and mirrors
You said,
time right now.
the Cardinals are playing games.
Yeah, I mean, so we have no idea. But anyway, since we're talking about the draft, let's go to the defensive side of the ball. What do you think? What are our strengths and defenses on weakness? I want to get your take on what do you think are strengths and weaknesses on defense.
In order that I would put the strength and the weakest from 1 to 3 as be the defensive line. I think is our strength. Secondary, and then linebackers. Well, linebackers is a weak link. I think if we can get like Devin White and then sign a free agent linebacker next to Preston Brown, we have those three. I think we'll be pretty set on defense.
I agree. Well, I agree in the fact that our linebackers are the weakest link. And what's the saying? You're only as strong as your weakest link.
Absolutely.
And our linebackers were historically bad last year.
Yeah.
So I mean, is it any surprise that our defense we had the last ranked defense?
Yeah.
So I think, without going any further, I think we definitely have to address that. If we don't address the linebacker position, I mean, we might as well throw the towel in before we even start. So I think it's pretty likely we're going to see a linebacker taken in the first one or two rounds. Let's see. I think our secondary is pretty set.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Like I said, I was talking about Darren Smith earlier. I think we could possibly use that time in safety. But other than that, I think our secondary is pretty talented for the most part.
William Jackson, Darqueze Dennard, Dre.
For sure. I actually seen a stat about Dre the other day. You guys can see it on Twitter. I retweeted it. I can't remember exactly what it is, but he gave up a real small, like, per coverage snap. He was one of the best corners in allowing receptions per coverage snap. So, I mean, we got some pretty good guys. We just got to get it all together. We got to get our whole defense working as one, and we just got to address the linebacking unit seriously.
Yeah, big time.
Because I mean, that's just wherever it seemed like where everybody went. Like every third down, you knew a dump off to the running back was coming, or a short route to the tight end. You knew they were gonna, just because like we were so bad. Like we gave up historically bad numbers. Like I forget how many yards, but no linebacking group had ever given up that many reception yards as a group before in NFL history. So that tells you where we were at last year in terms of our linebacking unit. So we definitely got to address that. So that's what I kind of want to get to. The most of the mock drafts that I have seen, I don't know about everybody else, but the ones that I've gazed at, probably you two, the main guys that they have us taken in the first round are Devin White, Devin Bush, Ed Oliver, and Christian Wilkins. So the main guys on defense that I've seen mocked to us are either at linebacker or defensive tackle. And I think that's a realistic take. I personally think we'll probably go linebacker.
I think we'll go linebacker, but as the draft gets closer, and then talk about Andy Dalton's extension, now I've seen Locke drafted to us. I've seen Haskins projected to us, and then there's Devin White, Devin Bush, Ed Oliver. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. Like I said, this is just defense, though. Next week we're going to do
Yeah,
offense, potential offensive targets. Because yeah, you've definitely, or not just, we've definitely. There's been an uptick in people mocking quarterbacks to us. Haskins and Locke. I've even seen Murray slide down to number 11 because most people have him going number 1, even though I disagree. But I've even seen some mocks where they have him sliding down to us at 11 and us taking them. So we'll go over those guys next week.
right.
But the first guy, you mentioned him earlier, but the first guy I feel like we should get into is Devin White because this guy probably has the highest ceiling of anybody that we're going to take.
Guy's a beast.
Yeah, he's just and you see, I'm putting up a little bit of film of him. He's number 40 in case anybody's interested in checking him out. But he's 6 foot. He's 237 pounds. He ran a 4.4 240. He did 22 reps in the bench, and he had a 39.5-inch vertical.
It's not bad.
That's some crazy numbers.
Yeah.
A 4.4 240 for a guy that weighs damn near 240 pounds is always impressive.
Yeah. You don't want that guy coming at you full speed. He's aggressive. If you see him on the video, he's super aggressive.
Definitely. He doesn't really have many weaknesses. I mean, I guess a lot of if you look at the knocks on him, a lot of the knocks on him are basically he relies on his athleticism too much.
Right.
Which you see that a lot in college.
Right.
In college sports, you see that a lot just for the fact that they can get by on their athleticism because he is that physically gifted. So most of the guys that he's on the field with on Saturday can't hang in that aspect. So, but if you look here too, here's just a couple stats from PFF or a couple ratings from PFF. As you can see, his overall rating last year was 90. His coverage rating is what's most impressive to me and what stands out most to me, as I'm sure you as well.
Right.
He had like a 91 rating, which is elite. Anything 90 and above, or I forget the actual rating system they have, but I know what he's rated right now. It's considered elite.
Absolutely.
And we could definitely use an elite coverage linebacker, right?
Think about like what's that guy who got drafted by the Niners? Willis, a long time ago. Patrick Willis, beast. You know what I mean? It's too early to compare him to like a Ray Lewis, but Ray Lewis was drafted early. You know, all these linebackers are drafted early usually pan out because you run, tackle. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of, like quarterbacks have so much stuff. They got a player card. They got to check the routes. You know, linebackers, they just follow the ball, man.
Yeah, and he sorry. Well, he's actually that's actually another weakness or another knock on him is his instincts are supposedly below average. I don't know if I believe that. I've watched him a lot. But that's one of the knocks on him is he's not as polished. As you can see here, he didn't have as good of a season last year. This is kind of his one anomaly season. He had kind of two in 2016. He had kind of a subpar year. It's an above average year, but to this season standards, it's a subpar year. 2017, he had kind of an above average year, and then he really just turned it on. With obviously, you can see he was damn near perfect. Right. So a lot of people question: is he a 1-year wonder? Can he keep improving? Or I guess that's the thing they say is he's got a lot of potential. Can he tap that potential? He definitely has the highest ceiling.
I'm definitely all in on Devin White.
Yeah, I think obviously according to the poll that I had posted and showed you guys a little bit earlier, I think most of Bengaldom is 100% in on Devin White as well.
But
because he's got the chance to be special.
Absolutely, but we how often do we ever draft who we're thinking or who we want? I mean, don't be surprised. Yeah,
Well,
I love the draft. I love it so much.
Oh, for sure. I actually wanted John Ross, and I predicted John Ross.
Really?
The other, but he hasn't. I'm excited to see what he does this season. Let's just say that. But anyways, I'm not gonna. I don't have the ammunition to defend myself because he could definitely be a bust too.
Yeah.
So let's just keep on.
Yeah.
The next guy I want to go over is Devin Bush. He's also a linebacker from Michigan. Or I shouldn't say also.
Team
he's a linebacker from Michigan. He's number 10 for anybody watching the highlights. He's 5'11", a little bit shorter, 234. He ran a 4.43 40, ran 21 reps on the bench, didn't run. He threw up 21 reps on the bench and ran jumped 40.5 inches in the vertical, which is actually a little bit better than Devin White. I know that you're not as high on Devin Bush as I am.
He's good. He's good. You know what I mean? He's definitely, I don't think he's deserving of the 11th pick. Maybe later first round, early second round grade I have on him.
Well, if you look right here in the latest Bengals mock draft or the media mock draft that just came out.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what's the date? April 2nd. So it came out 2 days ago. They actually had us taking Devin Bush, as you can see right there, if you look on the screen.
Yep. I wouldn't be mad. I mean, I just think we'd be reaching for him.
Devin Bush is one of those guys that's been rising really fast late. Like I've seen since the combine, his stock has seemed to just jump off the charts. And so basically, in my opinion, they're almost the same. They're almost the same player. Obviously, Devin White is more physically gifted.
Right.
He's got a little bit bigger frame or a leaner frame, so I think he could probably even add on a little weight, maintain his speed, which is obviously a plus. He's probably a little bit better in coverage. But the knock with Devin White is that he's not as experienced. This could be he kind of just jumped onto the scene this year as a real dominant player. While Devin Bush, if you look over here at his last season, I mean, he's put together two really just spectacular seasons in a row in the Big Ten, whether you think the Big Ten is a good conference or not.
Absolutely.
But he put up 2 monster years. He's really good in coverage. I would even argue he's probably better against the run than Devin White. And they say that the one of the things that I'm really on the Devin Bush train is a lot of guys are saying that he's one of the most sure players in the draft. That you can't miss on him because he's experienced. They say that his fundamentals are better, his footwork's better. They say the only thing that there's a knock on him is really his like arm size. They say he's just a little bit smaller and he gets engulfed sometimes at the point of attack. But he's a really polished player. And like I said, they just say he's one of the few can't miss prospects. As you can know that they say that Devin White has a higher ceiling, but they're just saying that Devin Bush is maybe a can't miss. You know what you're getting with him.
If we are comparing, Devin White to Devin Bush is close, but not close enough to be the 11th pick. You know what I mean? I don't think they're similar at all. I think they're different. They're different style players. I mean, isn't not only if I'm looking at the picture here, the Devin Bush picture you got up. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm on the Devin White train. But you know what? The Bengals will do something weird, like draft a tackle, an offensive tackle, defensive tackle, or something like that. And
they could really go in any direction. Like we don't like with Zach Taylor being the new guy, we don't really have any idea what they're going to do. That's what makes this one so exciting. But just one thing I want to throw out there with Devin Bush, and obviously I'm being biased. Because I'm not, like you said, you're not going to be mad if we draft Devin Bush.
No.
I'm not going to be mad at all if we draft Devin White. But Devin Bush, just one thing I did notice is he leaves it all out on the field. He plays with reckless abandon. Like he reminds me of Vontaze Burfict, but with the actual, he's not a knucklehead.
Oh, okay.
And he plays with that same reckless abandon where he lays it all out on the field, and you can just tell. It seems like loves the contact. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's like he embraces it. He loves it. He's like, let's get down. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, I dig
So
that. So I mean, if
I
we
think he'll bring a physicality, and not saying that Devin White wouldn't. I'm just saying when I watched both of them, and they both obviously are physical players, but it just, you know what I mean? You just get that feeling when you watch somebody. It just seems like this guy really enjoys making contact with people.
right
Like
on.
he'll bring a physicality to our defense that I would assume that you would probably agree that has been sorely lacking
Oh my God.
over the recent years.
You mean Hardy Nickerson and Nick Vigil aren't going out there and just headhunting?
Well, you need, well, for sure. Well, obviously, you need one intimidator on defense, and Perfect was that guy for us for the longest time. But obviously, that ship sailed. So I think we need a new guy, and like I said, Devin White or Devin Bush, I think will do the job. We're impartial to, we're split on who, which is cool. We'll be happy either way, right?
Absolutely.
A less likely prospect, but definitely a guy I've seen mocked to us a lot. So I just want to cover him, even though I know it's unlikely that we take him. Is Ed Oliver, and you'll see up here on the screen. He's number 10. He's 6'2", 287. But this is the crazy part. He ran a 4.75. He didn't run at the combine, but he ran out his pro day. I'm kind of iffy on pro day numbers because it's not the electronic time ones like they have at the combine.
Right.
But 4.75 at 287 pounds. That's moving, right?
Oh yeah.
32 reps on the bench. He had a 36-inch vertical, which is just absolutely insane. This guy's he's one of the biggest freaks, in my opinion, to come out at defensive tackle physically. He reminds me, or I guess you can even say he's been compared to Aaron Donald.
Now here we go with that one.
Some of the weaknesses. He's obviously his size. They say a couple times last season, or over the past couple seasons, he did get down below 280 during the season. He did hurt his knee last year, missed the remainder of the season. I can't remember how many games he missed, like 6, 7 games or something like that. So there's the injury question, and then the obviously the attitude. I'm sure you're familiar with the little scuffle he had
Oh yeah.
on the sideline with his coach over the jacket.
Jacket
Take the jacket off, son.
I ain't gonna do it.
So there's arguments either way on that. I personally don't think it was as big as it. I think he was a knucklehead for just not taking the jacket off.
Right.
But I think the coach was also a knucklehead because if it was cold and nobody was wearing the jacket,
Right. It's kind of like what are you trying to prove?
Exactly. Well, and we weren't down there on the sidelines, so there could have been something else that was brewing beforehand between those guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
The coach could have said something smarter. The player could have. That's like it's kind of hard to know. The coach did get fired after the season, so that doesn't really tell anything. But I just want to give the whole story.
Right.
But anyways, the guy, if you look at his pulled up his PFF card here, the guy's a stud. There's no denying it. He's got all the talent in the world. And like I said, the one player that they typically compare him to is Aaron Donald just because they have the same stature. They're both small, undersized guys
Right.
that are just powerful and freakishly athletic. Did you see that picture of Aaron Donald I tweeted out the other day?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, dude, you're going to have to check that out. Here, I'm going to pull it up for you. I'll post it on this video just because it's the craziest. It just shows how the game is evolving. But here, can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. You see Aaron Donald?
Jesus, is that the one on the right?
Yeah, that's a defensive tackle, bro. That's the best defensive tackle in the league. And that's basically what I mean. I doubt Ed Oliver's jacked up like that. I've never seen him without his shirt off. But that's what I'm saying. Like, no, and I tweeted out when I tweeted this is in what era do you remember a defensive tackle looking like the best defensive tackle in the league look like that?
Man, he don't even lift.
He should be like that. Looks like a linebacker or
It was like one of those free runners.
So that's what Gino probably. I mean, I doubt Gino's that jacked, but I bet Gino because has a similar stature,
Yeah.
similar height, similar weight, and that's becoming the new trend in the NFL. Head coaches and front office guys are finally learning about. I'm forgetting the name of it, but the lowest guy always wins, right?
Right.
So they're moving to more of a more short, stocky, just jacked up defensive guy that can get below the center, the guards, shoulder pads, and as you can see, like guys like Geno are now and Aaron Donald, and now a guy like Ed Oliver. It seems like they're making a transition to what they're looking for in the defense.
Have you seen?
I wanted to show that picture just because, wow.
Have you seen the? I know we're talking about defense, but have you seen the DK Metcalf picture?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I've seen the picture that you're talking about, but I have seen.
Is it dude? It's him without his shirt. He's like a 1% body fat.
Straight freak.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad. Well, we might even talk about. I don't think that there's any, especially if we re-sign AJ Green. I don't think there's any chance that we go there, but he might be one of the guys we talk about just because he is a freakish athlete. So let's see the next guy that I've seen mocked to us. Not a whole lot when it comes to defensive tackles. It's typically Ed Oliver, but I have seen Christian Wilkins mocked to us a few times, so I kind of just want to go over him just a little bit, just in case we do end up taking him, so you guys have a little bit of info on him. He's number 42 if you guys are watching. He's a little bit bigger, 6'3", 315. He repped 28 in the bench press. He had a 29.5-inch vertical, and he ran a 5.04 in the 40. So clearly not as impressive, but still not too bad for a guy
at all for
315, right?
Yeah,
he's still moving pretty quick.
That's close to my weight. I can't run that fast.
Now, when you draft a Christian Wilkins, you know you're getting a good guy. You know you're getting a good locker room guy. You know you're getting a really smart guy. He graduated in 2.5 years, which is pretty impressive considering he was playing major college football.
Right.
He stays low. He can play multiple positions along the defensive line, which the Bengals, if you've followed the Bengals, you know that they seem to put pretty a high value on guys that can play multiple positions. So that's one of the other reasons I kind of want to go over him, is because he can play all along the defensive line. I guess he can also. He's really good at batting balls, getting into passing lanes. Just one of the knocks on him is that he fatigues, which is obviously coming with a bigger guy.
Yeah.
But if you look at his pull up his PFF numbers here. If you look at him, I mean, he's known more as a run stopper, but if you actually look at his pass rush grade, all 3 years, it's pretty consistent for being a pretty big defensive tackle. So I think that's what they'd probably be looking for. The guy next to Geno is a bigger guy that can eat up some space,
right.
And it'd be a nice bonus if a guy can also get after the quarterback as well in your base package. So he wouldn't be a bad. I don't expect them to take him.
I don't either.
But like I said, we have no idea.
You never know.
They could take a running back for all we know.
Oh,
I
yeah.
doubt it, because I'm pretty sure there's. But like I said, the draft is a crazy time, you know.
It's I love it, man. I said earlier, man. I love the bullshit and the competition wise. Is like, you guy does good all year long in college. You know what I mean? Then now he's got to prove himself all over again, and it's like a soap opera. It's like, oh, we have a quarterback last year, but we really like Kyler Murray. Who can we get for him? What can we do? What can this and that and this? I'm glued to the TV, like, fuck. Who shot JR?
Well, for sure, dude. That's what I mean. Like you said, well, you said it all. I mean, that's really what I have to say is draft day is basically like Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll see what we get. We'll see what we unwrap.
Okay.
Pick 11. Should be exciting. It's always nice to hear that. So you know the sound I'm talking about. I'm not going to try to replicate the sound, but the do 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 when the ticker pops up.
Oh, that's ESPN. Yeah.
No, the ticker,
I know what you're talking
sound,
about. Yeah.
where the pick is in sound.
Right.
Or
right.
that there's been a trade sound. That's always exciting. You hear
Yeah, it
that
is.
sound and you automatically tune into the TV like, what's going on? Who got traded? So maybe we'll see us. Maybe we'll even move up. Like they, I mean, this is obviously it's all due diligence, but they brought in Josh Allen or they scheduled a visit with him, and obviously if we took him, we'd have to trade up to get him. So I
Right.
think they're just doing their homework. But you never know. We could move up. We could move down, or traditionally we'll probably just stay pat where we're at.
I think
Um,
last year we moved a couple spots because we got Cordy Glenn.
oh yeah. We dropped down. I
Yeah,
forget from where to where, but yeah, that was actually, in my opinion, that was a good trade.
I liked it. Yeah, absolutely.
Anytime you can gain a starter, keep your first round pick, and only drop down a few spots,
Right.
pretty good day at the office. And Cordy Glenn was a proven commodity.
Listen here, okay? You heard it first right here from Skinny Sean. The Bengals will trade the Arizona Cardinals. Was it Josh Allen? Or yeah, we'll trade Josh Allen for John Ross. Head up, straight
And
up.
you heard it here first. Skinny Sean got high as hell before the episode. I'm just kidding, guys.
Man, it could happen. It could happen.
Oh, for sure, it could happen. But yeah, it's a fun time, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it live, guys. So, obviously, you're gonna have to tune in if you're a fan of football or the draft. You're gonna have to tune in because we'll have all the information here for you.
Yes.
Like I said, we'll figure out how to get you all the picks as they're happening, or we might even be able to get you a feed. But anyways, that's basically it for this week. I just want to give another shout out to the BengalsBoard.com once again for letting us post our nonsense on their board every week and not kicking us out.
Thank you.
Once again, that's the basically the people from the original Bengals.com board. Not everybody remembers, but I mean, it used to be a real popular spot for Bengals fans, the best board there was, and there was a bunch of the only thing that sucked about it is there was a lot of moderators. You couldn't say you couldn't really speak your mind, you'd get banned.
Right.
But over here at the BengalsBoard.com, you can speak your mind. They don't have a happy trigger finger on the ban button, so
You can send us questions. You know, we won't ban anybody. You can send us anything you want, on Twitter, Instagram, or even through YouTube. Anything you want. Any questions, any curiosities, any critiques. Either hey, I don't like that fucking Skinny Sean guy. His beard is weird.
We'll send out a tweet, and you guys, we'll do a little segment. What at the Bengals mailbag,
Yeah.
or something, NatiCast mailbag, however you want to say it. We'll be on the lookout for that. Yeah, send us your questions, and we'll try to do a little segment every episode for that. Other than that, make sure you check out Skinny Gaming on Facebook, and I believe he's on YouTube, right? You want to give your information real quick?
Right, on YouTube, you can find me on the cat with a K, the THEKT 18, and find out all my streams, or you can go on Facebook and find Skinny Gaming. I stream retro games on Facebook, so check me out there. I play some Tecmo Bowl. So I use the Bengals, of course. So yeah, absolutely, check me out and subscribe to this podcast.
Oh yeah, guys, make sure you go check me out. I've actually watched him. It's pretty fun. And yeah, like he just said, if you support us, if you like what we have to say, even if you don't like what we have to say, even if you want to get on and argue with us, send us a message and we'll try to get you on. Maybe argue with you, debate on who's going to finish first. Just we want to be interactive with the fans. But yeah, please like us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and please share our videos or all of our stuff to show your support for us. Any share, like, any of that stuff helps out. Other than that, hoo-day, baby!
Hoo-day, baby! And if Sean Williams, you're watching this, I'm coming for you, baby. I'm coming.
All right, adios, guys.